Hello, I'm going to show you how to replace the key barrel in a Honda EK Civic ignition. I just did this yesterday and struggled with it. But there's a few hot tips that the internet hasn't really told you, so I'm going to run through it. This ignition is missing a heap of bits, but the theory's the same. So first things first, to get it out, to get this barrel out, you turn it to ignition. There is then this little pin here that you need to push in, and you'll be able to pull the barrel out. So either with a pick or a screwdriver that conveniently fits in, push it in, see how it's in, and we can pull this barrel all the way out. Done. Step one, that's the easy part. Now, to get it back in, the first time I pulled it out, this little hook thing, let me see if I focus that. This little hook had slid out further, and I had made the assumption that you would put the barrel in and it would slide in at the same time with the barrel and you'd be able to fit it all the way in. But that's not the case. It needs to be pushed all the way in as far as it can go. Let me see if I can pop it out first. So yeah, see it does move up and down, or a bit wobbly. So we push it all the way in as far as it goes. A small caveat is there's usually a spring in the back here, which puts a bit of pressure, outward pressure on it, so it wants to push it towards the barrel. Now, when you're putting the barrel back in, you need to line everything up, so keep it in ignition. You need to, if you have a look here, you can see that the inside of the ignition matches the barrel. It's got like this two-prong thing. There is also a spring in the middle of all of this, which needs to be there. Both of mine had a fair bit of grease on them just so the spring stayed there, which is really convenient. So when you're putting this back in, you need to find the thing, push. Sometimes you have to push this little pin back in a little bit. Otherwise, sometimes you don't. And then while you're pushing it in, you need to also hold this hook back so you can push at the same time. So this is where it gets a bit awkward, and I'll see if I can do it on the ground here. I'll zoom in because there's a few moving parts here that have to kind of align. So we're in ignition, the key's all the way out. I think this is a bit crooked. Zoom out a bit. Okay, so I do it correctly. So I'm going to go this way. Now I just wiggled it in, it went all the way. Because there's no spring here, that makes this part a little bit easier. Usually you'd have to hold this all the way back. So maybe two people would be good. And then once you're in there, you should be able to push it in. You'll see that pin has now gone in. And we can turn it to off and pull the key out. So, hot tip, make sure that pin, I think there's a lip here that it slightly gets caught on. You have to make sure that gets past that. And you also need to hold back that hook. That will require standing on your right foot, sticking your tongue out and making sure the wind's blowing the right way. But if you do that, you'll be able to get it in. I spent hours trying to work it out with that hook out and in and backwards and everything like that. But once I pushed it all the way in and held it all the way back with a screwdriver, which is a lot easier when you don't have a camera sitting in front of you, I was able to get it in, put it in the car, and it works. But obviously not this one, because this is just a spare parts one. So yeah, any questions, ask them in the comments, but it just requires a little bit of patience, which we don't always have. Thanks.